Hello everyone. Welcome back to our channel U.S. Immigration. We hope you're doing great. In this video, we will talk about USCIS introduces new policy for waiving interviews. In a significant shift in immigration processing, USCIS has unveiled a new policy that simplifies the application process by waiving interviews for certain cases. This change aims to reduce waiting times and streamline the adjudication of applications, potentially affecting thousands of applicants. Understanding how this new policy works and who qualifies can help you navigate the immigration process more efficiently. If you are interested in this topic, so to get all the information, pay attention and watch the video through to the end. Please hit like and subscribe, and don't forget to push the notification bell for an upcoming video. So without any further delay, let's jump into the video. USCIS introduces new policy for waiving interviews. In a notable shift in immigration processing, the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services has introduced a new policy that could significantly impact the way green card applications are handled. This policy involves waiving interviews for certain cases and adopting a new method of communication to notify applicants. The change comes as part of USCIS's efforts to streamline operations and address a growing backlog of applications. The evolution of USCIS processing. Historically, green card applications require an in-person interview. During these interviews, immigration officers would ask a series of questions to assess the applicant's eligibility, including their marital status and the validity of their application. This process was designed to ensure that applicants met all requirements before receiving their green cards. However, since the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic, USCIS has been exploring alternative ways to process applications more efficiently. One significant change observed over the past few months is the increasing frequency of green card approvals without the need for an interview. This trend has been seen not just in New York City but across the United States. USCIS has begun approving many green card cases, especially those based on marriage or Violence Against Women Act petitions, without requiring applicants to attend an in-person interview. New methods of communication. A noteworthy development in this new policy is the shift towards using electronic communication. Traditionally, USCIS communicated through physical mail, sending out requests for evidence and interview notices via postal service. However, recent changes have introduced email as a new method of communication. In the early part of this year, many applicants and their attorneys started receiving requests for evidence via email rather than traditional mail. This marks a significant departure from past practices, where such communications were exclusively sent through postal mail. This change has sparked a broader discussion about the reasons behind USCIS's adoption of email for these notifications. Why the shift to email? The primary reason for USCIS's increased use of email is to expedite the processing of applications and manage the backlog more effectively. By transitioning to electronic communication, USCIS can save time and resources, which is crucial given the large volume of pending cases. This approach allows for faster dissemination of information and a more efficient review process. Receiving a request for evidence for a medical exam via email often indicates that the applicant's green card case is likely to be approved without the need for an in-person interview. When a request for evidence requests only the submission of a medical exam, it generally signifies that the case has progressed sufficiently for a decision to be made without further questioning. This can be a relief for applicants who are concerned about the lengthy wait times and uncertainties associated with in-person interviews. Types of requests for evidence. There are two primary types of requests that applicants might receive via email. A request for evidence for medical exam. This request for evidence will ask applicants to submit their medical exam documentation. Receiving this type of request for evidence is a positive sign, as it typically suggests that the USCIS is moving towards finalizing the application without requiring an interview. Courtesy notice. This notice may inform applicants that their file has been sent to a field office and that they need to provide a medical exam at the time of their interview or in response to a request for evidence. This notice does not necessarily mean that an interview will be waived, but rather serves as a preliminary communication regarding the status of the application. Caution against scams. With the introduction of email communication, there is an increased risk of scams and fraudulent activities. Scammers may attempt to exploit this change by sending fake emails that appear to be from USCIS, asking for personal information or payment. Applicants must exercise caution and verify the authenticity of any communication received. Tips to avoid scams. Verify the email address. Official communications from USCIS will come from email addresses ending in @uscis.dhs.gov. Any other domain should be treated with suspicion. Avoid sending money. USCIS will not request payment via email once the appropriate filing fees have been paid. Be wary of any email asking for money or personal details. Consult your attorney if you receive an email that seems suspicious or you are unsure about its legitimacy. Contact your immigration attorney immediately. They can help verify the authenticity of the communication and provide guidance on how to proceed. USCIS's new policy for waiving interviews and adopting email communication represents a significant shift in the immigration process. By waiving interviews for certain cases and using electronic methods to handle requests for evidence, USCIS aims to streamline the application process and address the backlog more efficiently. For applicants, receiving a request for evidence for a medical exam via email is generally a positive sign of progress in their application. However, it is essential to remain vigilant against potential scams and verify the legitimacy of any communications received. Staying informed and working with a trusted immigration attorney can help navigate these changes smoothly and ensure a successful application process. This new policy from USCIS marks a noteworthy development in the way immigration applications are handled. By waiving interviews for eligible cases, the agency hopes to expedite processing times and alleviate some of the burdens faced by applicants. Staying informed about these changes can ensure that you're prepared for a smoother application experience. If you have any questions or need assistance, consulting an immigration professional may provide further guidance tailored to your specific situation. That is all for today in this video. What are your thoughts on this? Please let us know in the comments section below. Thanks for watching the entire video. Hopefully the information is useful to you. See you later in the next video. Till then, take care.
Hello everyone, welcome back to channel US Immigration. We hope you're doing great. In this video, we will talk about USCIS introduces new policy for waiving interviews. USCIS has introduced a new policy that impacts how green card applications are processed, specifically by waiving interviews for certain cases. This change is part of USCIS efforts to streamline the application process and address the growing backlog of cases more effectively. Previously, green card applicants were required to attend an in-person interview where immigration officers would assess their eligibility and verify details about their application such as marital status. However, since COVID-19 pandemic, USCIS has begun implementing alternative methods to expedite processing. A notable development is the increase in green card approvals without requiring interviews, particularly for marriage-based and Violence Against Women Act cases. Another significant change is the adoption of email communication for requests for evidence. USCIS has started sending RFEs via email instead of traditional mail. This includes requests specifically asking for medical exam documentation. Receiving an RFE for a medical exam by email generally indicates that the applicant's case is progressing toward approval without the need for an interview. Applicants might receive two types of emails: requests for evidence for medical exam. This email requests the submission of medical exam documents and typically suggests that the interview may be waived. Courtesy notice. This informs applicants that their file has been sent to a field office and that they may need to provide medical exam documentation at a later time. With the shift to email communication, there is an increased risk of encountering scams. Applicants should ensure that any email from USCIS comes from an address ending in @uscis.dhs.gov and be cautious of any requests for money or personal information. If there are any doubts, consulting an immigration attorney is recommended. Overall, USCIS new policy aims to speed up the green card application process by waiving interviews and using electronic communication, which helps to manage the backlog more efficiently.